Welcome to the InfoMullet YouTube channel. If you enjoy this content, please like or share. And if you'd like to support the InfoMullet by becoming a mulleteer, visit us on Patreon. We appreciate your support. What does the East Asia, so this is question 11 a little bit. Remember, these questions are like a memory capsule, a time capsule. They reflect what people were thinking about. People like East Asia, who was thinking that? Well, at the time, the South China Sea was one of the big strategic international concerns. So people were concerned, what does East Asia's strategic picture look like in context to South Korea, Japan, and US relations? And I've done a couple episodes over the year to highlight that the South China Sea tensions have not diminished. If anything, they've increased. But my forecast was no change in core relations with South Korea or Japan. That's proven true. There's been no fundamental realignment that I'm aware of, unless I missed it, with the US and these partners. However, the main change I said will be in South Korea and Japan military developments independent of the US. Remember when we talked about at the top of the hour, our allies view us on whether we're helping or harming them and how active we are. The US has not been very active in the South China Sea to the extent that its neighbors want it to. President Obama famously tried to pivot. Well, if you think about it, George Bush, like the 2000, right? China was his main focus, and then 9/11 happened, and that was all off. So scratch China focus for most of the Bush presidency. President Obama, for his entire presidency, was trying to pivot to Asia to deal with the rising strategic concerns related to China. But winding down the Iraq war, which I think he bumbled by the rapid withdrawal, then ISIS blew up and you had to deal with ISIS, and all of that stuff was going on. You have Russia invading Ukraine. These things distracted him. The US was not able to pivot. I mean, it wasn't that it was nothing was going on, but the kind of focus and attention you want. And in that gap, and President Trump has largely continued this. I don't know if he's even paid. I mean, he's made some mentions about it. There's some aircraft carriers we send there every once in a while, do some training exercises. We're obviously involved there, but it's not getting the kind of attention and focus that the local neighbors want. And in our absence, remember, they're looking at us. Are you helping me? Are you doing nothing? Are you hurting me? As we do nothing, they go look in their neighborhood and they cut deals. So just recently, Japan and Australia cut a pretty big deal. And I guess I should go to the map so people can see here what we're talking about. So we'll zoom the map over. Here we are, right? So here's Japan, South Korea, China, right? Here's the South China Sea. That's a major tension. I want to scroll up a little bit more, right? So remember, Japan here, Australia down here. Japan and Australia have cut a defense agreement. This was 2 weeks ago. There was a mutual defense pact not involving the US. The US was not involved in this, but there's a military alliance now between Australia and Japan. And the third leg of this stool is both of them independently have military logistics support with India. So you've got this interesting development now. Now, it's not an offensive military. It's not a mutual defense. It's just logistics support. But you have this three-way alliance forming here where both Japan and Australia have alliances with India for logistics. Australia and Japan just cut a mutual defense alliance for themselves. And you begin seeing this containment aspect here. Now, I don't know whether the Indian Navy is even capable of taking on China or the Chinese Navy is capable of taking on, but it's just interesting how this is playing out. There hasn't been as much action in South Korea as Japan, but Japan is definitely, you frequently hear that they're interested in rearming. There's discussions more frequently in their parliament about remilitarization of Japan in light of these threats they're facing from China. And I think everyone's looking at Taiwan. Taiwan has just been really left behind and forgotten, and Hong Kong has been almost completely absorbed into China with some diplomatic protests, but not really any meaningful pushback. So I think the local countries in the region, they're very wealthy, really strong economies. You're talking South Korea, Japan, very technical but small. They're going to look to bolster up their own military capabilities, cut alliances, and if the US isn't there to play, they'll cut alliances with someone else. That's just the way it goes. So thanks for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like to follow the InfoMullet, visit us on Facebook or Twitter. And if you'd like notifications when we post new video content, click on the red subscribe button below the video. If you've ever wanted to become a mulleteer and support the InfoMullet, visit us on Patreon. We appreciate the support.